All right, this may be your family. It's a staggering number to me, although I thought about this, and I guess there are some people that it could be awkward for. I don't know why, but I guess it could. 64% of Americans, according to a survey, said election-related stress is impacting their holiday plans, and 23% are considering not even going to Thanksgiving dinner at all. According to this release, it included 2,000 people in the survey from all 50 states, equally split between men and women. It also surveyed adults between 22 and 65 years old who regularly celebrate Thanksgiving. Sad commentary, all of those things. Also very funny. There's also a story about some sociologists who are ripping people on the left that are saying that you should cut off your Trump family members during the holidays. I don't think that it's a great piece of advice. I mean, it sounds like a cult, according to this Brian Wilcox, who's a sociology professor. He said cults often encourage people to cut off their family and friends just to kind of keep people within the cult. So I don't take that advice. I don't think that's advice worth following. He was responding to the advice given to Harris voters on MSNBC. There's a push. I think it's just a societal norm that if somebody is in your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think that answer is absolutely not. This was the Yale University chief psychiatric resident that said this on Joy Reid's show. So if you're going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who you know have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, it's completely fine to not be around those people. It is. You have an absolute right. I think you're out of your mind. The fact that we have gotten to this place in the election, there are a couple of things that are in front of me. One I played earlier, that is a special education teacher in Connecticut. Her viral video went crazy, but she resigned her position because she's a special education teacher and it was threatening to kill Trump voters. I'll let you hear it in a moment. But there is also another story that I have in front of me. A high school principal in Ohio, is at the Olentangy Orange High School. The principal's name was Monica Asher. She is on paid administrative leave because she made clear her dislike of Trump in a message to staff. She started by saying she could not ignore the political context, adding that many were struggling according to the screenshot. I can't write a message that pretends like the election didn't happen, especially when so many of you are struggling with how to move forward. That's just such a, I'm sorry. It's just, we have gotten to a place that I just don't know how we get to. Because the expectation would have been this. It certainly isn't all Democrats. It certainly isn't all Harris voters. It is a smaller piece that seems to be the most vocal, that nobody on that side of the aisle is telling to sit down and be quiet and suck it up. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. One of my favorite things about learning to coach the game of football was the influence on young people. Coaching in Pop Warner football, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it was where I grew up. Football was taken very seriously at a young age, and every young man wanted to play, and some girls played on the teams as well. But Pop Warner football and Pop Warner cheerleaders, it was where you learned the beginnings of the game. But when you coached with the right people, it was about learning this game that is such a beautiful game. But it's also learning to be a good teammate. It's also learning human characteristics. Let me explain. I coached with a guy in high school. I coached for a guy. I'm never a head coach. I was an assistant coach. And he used to say that you have to teach young men how to win with grace and lose with dignity. We suffered some horrible, one in particular, my brother's junior year in high school when I was an assistant coach, and we were playing a team that was the best team in the state in our division, and we were playing them on our field in a game, in a district game. And with 14 seconds left in the game, they ran a touchdown back and beat us and went on to win the state championship, and it wasn't even close. There wasn't a dry eye in that stadium. Parents, cheerleaders, coaches, players. The next year, it refocused that team so well that the next year we had to play them at their field, and we beat them 40-6. Losing is not something that should be taken lightly, but you should do it with dignity. And the undignified people that are losing their tempers in the way they're losing is an immature way to respond. You've never had to lose. You've never had to suffer a gut-wrenching loss. That's why when people, and it was before, people would say, so-and-so is not my president. I saw that with W. Not my president. Yeah, he was. I didn't want to see Barack Obama win once or twice. He was my president, and I called him that, President Obama. Joe Biden, I didn't vote for Joe Biden. He was my president, is my president, Joe Biden. When you lose, you face the fact that you lost. What Joe Biden did in the campaign was a mistake. Calling people garbage and using fascist and all the other things, it ended up being a mistake. But when he opened the door of the White House and behaved the way he was supposed to, I also was somebody that called Donald Trump out for saying the election was stolen. I didn't believe the election was stolen. I thought it was a poor way to lose. You win with grace, you lose with dignity. And you learn that at a young age if you play sports. It's why I'm an advocate for sports for young people. Losing a high school football game that feels like the end of the world and kicks you in the stomach where you literally are crying for hours and depressed for days is how you learn at a very young age to get over something like that and realize the sun comes up tomorrow and you live to fight another day. As opposed to being a 30-something-year-old teacher or whatever, 20-something-year-old teacher that loses an election and now her job, and the bleeps here are the F word, you're going to figure that out. This teacher is from Connecticut. She's a special education teacher. And here's the message she not only recorded, but then posted for the world to see.
And people of color and poor people and gay people and all the people that I care about aren't going to be safe in America. Neither are you guys. Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the you voted for. You're not in the clear. And just please, please don't test your gangster on me because you will end on a stretcher, gone forever. So serious. Nobody talk to me unless you want to swing. If you want to fight, text me, call me, whatever. Anybody else, stay the out of my face. And if you voted for Trump, literally, please delete me, block me, get rid of everything of me, or step to me so that I know what's up and I can handle you how I see fit. Please just come forward. We now, just tell me or leave, please, the door.
The sorest loser on the entire planet, a school teacher. This is a special education teacher that not only was that angry that she said those things, she made it a point to record it on her cell phone and post it on social media for the world to see. Now, those bleeps, Julia did. Julia bleeped it out. The video as it's posted online does not have the bleeps. That is a school teacher that is such a sore loser that's been given participation trophies her entire life, that as an adult, a professional, a college-educated professional, can't handle a loss so badly that she loses her job because of a reaction. I would guess this about this young woman. In every other aspect of her life, she's a reasonable person that does and says reasonable things. If you're part of the holiday problem that says, I'm not inviting nor going anywhere near anyone that voted for Trump, you have issues. You have issues. You need to learn to win with grace and lose with dignity.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Catch up on Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast, and click the button in the middle to subscribe.